Hello, my name is Adrian and I'd like to talk to you about weapons for Mechwarrior Online. This is supposedly the fun part where you put in all the stuff to pew pew the mechs with the amount of damage that you can do. So I'll just give a very quick overview about weapons. I won't go really into detail about them. Just to get an idea of what kind of weapons that you have in Mechwarrior Online. It's actually quite a lot. But there's actually basically it's separated into three groups. For let me just choose the map here to go on the training grounds. There's basically three groups of weapons. There's actually lasers, which are the beam weapons, ballistics, which are ammo based, and where it's like you're firing these three good weapons, and they sort of play differently a bit from one another. Each would have their own pros and cons. So I chose this mech simply because that this mech has actually all the three different group weapons that I mentioned. You can see on the bottom right, this is where our weapons loadout, and you can see that these weapons I have 4 medium lasers, which is laser based weapons, Gauss rifle, which is a ballistic weapon, LRM 15, which are long range missiles that I can use. So just to give an idea of the pros and cons. Now, first thing we'll go about is lasers, and lasers are beam weapons. And I'm just going to give you a. So this is actually a beam weapons. One of the best advantages of lasers is that lasers do not need ammo. Because you're playing Mechwarrior Online, you go in once, and you can actually last for quite long. Ammo sometimes is quite important commodity. So missiles is a very good weapon simply because it doesn't require ammo. You can just keep firing as long as you can. The cooldown, once it's done, you could actually fire again, no worries. The only issue with lasers is about heat. Now you can see on the bottom where it's going down from 15% downwards, on the right side, the red bar, that's my heat meter. And as you can see, when I fire on the lasers, it actually generates a lot of heat. Now you don't want to have a lot of heat on your mech simply because, just going to give you an example. If your heat goes too high, what that happens is that your mech will do a auto shutdown. Just to prevent yourself from actual damage. You can actually override that, but you basically will blow up yourself in the process. And what happens is that your mech shut down. So when your mech shut down, you're basically powerless. You won't be able to move your mech, and you're most likely going to be in sitting duck when you're getting shot by other people. Yeah. So lasers are very simple to fire an enemy. Just point and shoot. Only small caveat is that sometimes, actually most lasers, except a few, you require to keep your target on the mech as long as possible because the damage is spread based on how long the beam is. So if I started doing slicing on a mech, on a mech like a lightsaber, then what happens is that it gets very little damage. Yeah, so that's just a rough idea about lasers. For the ballistics, which is the Gauss rifle, one good thing about them is that they don't generate a lot of heat. So just give an example, if I fire a Gauss rifle weapon, you can see that the heat doesn't really go up. So that's a really useful thing whenever you're in a pinch or you have a heat issue. The only small issue with Gauss rifles is that they need to carry ammo. So in your mech, you actually need to literally carry ammo, which has some weight on it to stock up on your weapon. And if the ammo runs out, then you can't even use that weapon throughout the entire game, even though you have the weapon still in place. Having more ammo also is a bit of a risk because if you start putting ammo onto your body parts, your legs, your left arm or your head, whichever, and if you get shot a lot on that part, then what happens is that there's a risk that the ammo can actually explode. When it does, then it actually adds more damage to your mech, which is not a really good thing. So just to give an idea, on a Gauss rifle is very simple. You have to try to aim and shoot. The targeting is also a bit off. I can't really show it to you because the target's a bit stationary. But when you're firing a mech that's moving with a Gauss rifle, you need to actually lead him on the target. I'm trying really my best, but I think I can't do it with first because it's so slow. But I'll see whether if I can get another video to show about it. But you can see that the weapons actually take its time to actually hit the target, so it really depends on distance. Give you an example, if I shoot a really far target, you can see that it doesn't really hit on the actual reticle itself, simply because you need to actually lead the target a bit to hit the mech. Yeah, so ballistics, very simple. The next one we have is actually missiles. Now missiles comes in two flavors. One is homing and one is not homing, and also the other one is long range and not long range. So this is actually long range, and most of the weapons are of missiles that I know are homing, except a few, which is the short range missiles. So the rule of thumb is when you just give an idea about missiles when you fire, it sort of like generates a bit of heat and a bit of ammo, but it's sort of like a mix between the two, because you need to have ammo, but the ammos you can carry quite a lot of ammo for missiles, and actually packs quite a punch. Now when targeting enemies with long range missiles, for instance, you need to make sure that you need to have a long fire, and so you actually will basically hit on the target to destroy the guy or whichever the case is. So the only also other problem with long range missiles and missiles in particular is that unlike lasers and ballistics, where you can actually aim really accurately to a particular body part that you want to wreck or to maim off, missiles has a very spreadish damage. Long range missiles that you can see, I mean obviously if you add now he has this Artemis system which actually helps to clump it together, but you can see on the damage, right, it actually was spread into different multiple body parts. So it's not a very good precision weapon, but it's a good sort of like like a damage to make the mech soak up a bit more damage so that your other teammates can come in and shoot. And especially like long range missiles, you can actually fire from a distance, so you don't really have to worry about getting shot, or you're like sort of like the artillery guy. Also, some long range missiles, long range missiles also has a minimum range, and it's always very important when you're doing a targeting, you need to know a bit more about the missiles, because long range missiles in particular do not do any damage less than 180 meters. So if you start firing, like say it's 120 meters, nothing happens. And you also need to make sure that you need to have a lock as much as possible, and you have to be careful of obstacles. When you're firing long range missiles, it just basically breaks it up. Yep, so that's roughly the gist of it for lasers, ballistics, and missiles. So I'll try to get like maybe a video for each of the different types, so to see the different areas. Hopefully, and we'll talk about the armors and how the health works and all that. So for now, I hope this video is quite educational for you in terms of how Mechwarrior Online is played. So I hope it's quite interesting for you to get started. So anyway, give me comments on the YouTube page, or if you have me on Facebook, just add me there. Right, see you.